The hearing officer can call me back at 216-315-6452. 315-6452. Yes, I didn't know how to go online. It says if you can't go online to call this number. So I didn't see an option for how to go online on your website. I mean, on the document that you sent me. God is my witness. They will call me back at 12:30. This is what really takes place.
Oh, my friends were right.
This is what really takes place.
You don't deserve to be with me.
At an unemployment hearing for Ohio. Like I told her, God is my witness. So they're going against God now, not against me. I'm merely a voice for the times. This is what really takes place as we seek our unemployment due to bad working conditions. This is what takes place. They told me on this document they sent me to contact them 15 minutes in advance. Well, I've done that, so I guess they're getting their ducks in a row to proceed. And prayerfully to help somebody who was actually living an honest life and trying to do what's right, because that's what I do. I left my employer due to bad work conditions. My safety had been compromised, as well as being yelled at and screamed at and threatened and harassed. They wanted to argue, and they did not have the best interest and integrity of my character. And I had warned them several times to stop yelling at me, and it didn't seem to mean anything. When I began, I ran into some difficulties in the very beginning. One of the people, and I still stayed pushing past the pressure. But as things got worse, and I'm also physically damaged as a result of this job, and that should not be. God is my witness. as I stated to the person who I just spoke with just now, there was no option in the document generated to communicate online. Although they said if you cannot register online, there was no registration option in the document.
Unknown caller.
I have to call you back. I'm in a meeting right now. Okay, when I come out my meeting, I will call you back, okay? Okay, bye-bye.
Unknown caller.
614-387-3693. Good morning.
Pamela Pickney, please.
This is Reverend Pinckney. With whom am I speaking, please?
Ma'am, this is Hearing Officer Jeffrey Schoffer, and I'll be conducting the hearing today. Do you
Okay.
have any other witnesses, ma'am?
God.
Okay, hold, please.
Uh-huh. Hi, I'm here.
Ms. Pickney, I'm going to ask you not to interrupt at this point, okay?
I,
Abdulaziz Kazim. Yeah. This is Hearing Officer Schoffer, and I'll be conducting the hearing today. Do you have any other witnesses? No. All right, can you get somewhere where it's a little bit quieter, because I'm getting a lot of background noise, and we're recording the hearing, so I need. Okay.
I like to be referred to as Reverend Pinckney, not Miss Pinckney, please. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Is it better now? That is better now. Okay. Sir, again, you don't have any other witnesses? No. All right. We will begin. Again, my name is Jeffrey Schoffer, and I'll be conducting the hearing today. This is appeals docket number H2021-005058 in May claim of Pamela Pickney. I'll note for the record that it is March 24th, 2021, and this proceeding is taking place by telephone. It is being recorded. This time is the claimant, Reverend Pickney, and we have Abdul Kazim representing the employer, Hope Transportation Company. This matter came before the Review Commission on an appeal filed by the claimant to an initial determination of position on January 26th of 2020 that disallowed her application and found she quit her employment with this employer without just cause. The issue before us is the claimant's separation from the employer and whether that would qualify them for benefits. You understand the issue, Reverend Pickney?
Absolutely, sir.
And Mr. Kazim? Yes. All right, the procedure that we will follow is I'm going to administer an oath or affirmation to both of you. I'm going to question the claimant first. Once my questioning is complete, she can give additional testimony if she wishes. Then the employer may question her. After that, I'm going to question the employer witness. He may give testimony, and the claimant may question you. Once both parties have an opportunity to present their case, I'll allow you a chance to make a summary statement. You don't have to make one if you don't want to. I'll close the hearing, take all the testimony into consideration, including the information contained in the director's file as it is part of the record by statute. You're both going to get a decision in the same manner as you got the hearing notice. If you would disagree with that, either or both of you, then will be appeal rights and you may exercise those. Do you understand the procedure, Reverend Pickney?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Kazim? Yes, I do. Any questions?
No.
None at the moment. Do either one of you refuse to take an oath or an affirmation?
No.
No refusals?
No.
Do you Do you both swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Reverend Pickney
Yes.
and Mr. Kazim? Yes. All right. Reverend Pickney, will you state your full name and spell your last name for the record for me, please?
My name is Reverend R.E.V. period Pamela, P-A-M-E-L-A, middle initial M, Pinkney, P-I-N-K-N-E-Y.
All right, Ms. Pickney, Reverend Pickney, what is your mailing address?
2936 East 114th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44104.
And your email address?
R-E-V-E-R-E-N-D P-I-N-K-N-E-Y, the number 24 at gmail.com.
And it looks like you filed an application for unemployment back on November 20 of 2020. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who was the last employer you worked for prior to filing that application?
Ooh, I haven't been employed for years. The last full-time employer was either Indiana Public Schools or, no, before that, I was working for America's Best Transportation and Cleveland Municipal Court.
Home Transportation wasn't the last employer you worked for prior to filing that application?
Oh, no. After Hope Transportation, I haven't worked. Since Hope Transportation, I have not worked. I thought you meant prior to that.
Prior to November, listen for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the question. Prior to November 20 of last year, who was the last employer you worked for?
Prior to November 20th of last year, Hope Transportation. That's the only person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you start there?
I started there, I believe, in June of 2019. I believe it was somewhere around
The
June.
last day you worked there.
November 17th, 2020.
And what was your position or title?
Driver.
Okay. What kind of services did you perform for the employer?
I would have to transport patients, whether it be ambulatory or wheelchair patients, and I would have to take them to medical appointments, including dialysis. And that's pretty much it.
Why aren't you working there anymore?
Because the working environment was not conducive to work in.
What was wrong with the working environment?
It was hostile and abusive and unsafe.
Okay. How was it hostile?
For one thing, I had told Mr. Kazim not to yell at me, and he continually yelled at me, and I told him when we are having our conversation to stop yelling at me, and he would not stop. And it was also when a person doesn't trust my word, when I give them information and they want to argue and go back and forth, then that means that you don't trust the credibility of my services, and therefore my services are not appreciated, and therefore I'm not needed there, and therefore it presents a hostile working environment for me as well as others when you don't trust my word, and when you feel the need to argue with me, scream and yell at me, and make things keep things unsafe for me.
Okay. What would the arguments be about?
I know. I'm thinking.
Stop for a minute, please, ma'am. The employer just got disconnected. Mr. Kazim? Hi. You've reached Abdul. Sorry, I'm unavailable to answer your call. Please leave a message, number, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Mr. Kazim, we were disconnected. I'm going to disconnect and try again.
I'm here.
From 50,
I'm here.
Disconnected. I'm going to try to get the employer.
I'm here.
Hello. About that. Mr. Kazim, we got disconnected, okay? We didn't, Reverend Pickney, did we discuss the matters of the case while Mr. Kazim was off the line?
Oh, no. You just told me to hang up. You told me to hang up, and you were going to try to call him again. I mean, you were going to.
Yeah, and we all got disconnected.
Right.
Okay, ma'am, you could charge you about.
If there was a question or a concern that I had, or someone would say something about me, there would be a question there would be a question of my integrity. If I tell them I didn't do something, they would challenge me. And I believe this last discussion that we had was someone falsely accused me of something, and I said, well, there's videos. I mean, there's cameras, and I'm not getting the video just talking to me all crazy. And I said, well, then you don't want the truth. If you don't, I said, because it's on camera that I haven't done what I've been accused of. And if I would call him on the phone or something, he would yell at me if I would try to clarify something. And I'm really bothered by this because my word is my bond. And if you don't trust me, then I shouldn't be working there for you. And on top of which, I'm already in a situation where I'm physically damaged from another incident where I have been asking this company to give me my records from when a man during the federal stay and when people were not supposed to be outside tore off the front end of the van. And I've been asking them for my files and they won't give them to me. And I have to argue with people. And I am not going to argue with anybody about anything because this is not only affecting my livelihood, it's affecting my physical care. I literally have a physical injury now behind this. And I don't need to be questioned.
Stop for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
When did the physical incident occur?
April 3rd of last year.
Okay. So, was it, you worked for several months after that?
I kept working.
Well, don't anticipate the question until it's
No, I was answering you. Go ahead.
Okay. And so it was the questioning of you of things and then you feeling that they didn't believe you that precipitated a lot of arguments that you would have or discussions?
Yes, that's part, not only not believing me, but not only believing me, but basically calling me not wanting to know the truth. When I tell you the way to get the truth and you're not going to do it, then you don't really want to know it anyway.
What was the incident about the video that you wanted them to watch a video?
I had a waiting time for one of the patients, and I was sitting outside of one of the nights, and I had time on my hands, so I was sitting in the vehicle, and I had been in the vehicle all day because I usually start at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I got out, and I was like waiting, and the security guard came out and picked a fight with me, and called the company and said something about me that wasn't true. And I told Mr. Kazim that didn't happen. And then he went on to go back and forth with me. And I told him, I told him my perception of things, and I told him what really happened. And then his brother came out. And out of the back. And it's like they do a tag on me. They did a tag team on me. His brother came out in the back and he said, well, if I find out that you did something to compromise this company, then your services, I don't care how much good you do, such and such and such and such. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a video. I said, I know. I just told your brother there's a video. And I said, well, get the video. So it was like, I don't know if it's a chauvinistic type thing or what it was. But when I said get the video, it was a problem. But if the video was going to incriminate me, then they would use it. Now, the day on the 17th when I left, I don't even remember exactly what we were arguing, what the dispute was about, but he was yelling and screaming at me on the phone. And I said, I told you, don't yell at me. And I meant, don't yell at me. And I hung the phone up and I left. I am not, I just feel like if somebody screams and yells at you, then they'll become violent in other ways. They'll hit you or they'll do something else to you. That's just my concern. I don't need to be yelled at for somebody to talk to me.
Now, was this yelling for the whole time, or did it start at some point and get worse? Or
no, we were in a conversation, and when I wouldn't say what he felt like I wanted him, what he wanted me to say to incriminate myself, then he became belligerent, and I wasn't going to change my answer. My answer. I'm not changing it because you get hostile or you have to appease somebody else or something else. My answer is my answer, and I was sticking to my answer. And yelling and screaming at me was not going to make me change what I said.
Okay, so was the guard incident the last incident before you resigned?
No, this was something else. I don't even remember that day. It was a Saturday, and I don't even remember what happened that day because that day when I left, it was a Saturday, and I hung up the phone because he was screaming and yelling at me. But it was several occasions where stuff like that took place. And I even had to deal with his sister when I first started working there, doing foul stuff to me. And it's like they just do things. And then when I walk away or take my stance, he even tried to get me to come to the building one day to get me to try to give me a letter to fire me. And I quit. I had quit that one time when I went back. But and you're going to fire me because I don't let you yell at me. And then when I asked him, and then this last time I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I refuse to go through all of these emotional roller coasters with you all. You know, I'm a good employee. I get up and I'm there at 3 a.m. and I stay there till 7 or 8 o'clock at night if they need me there. Don't take breaks most of the time. Or if I do take a break, it's not something long or I don't go out the way or anything like that. I'm honest, and there's no need to scream and holler at me.
So that Saturday was the 14th of November, and it looks like you resigned on Tuesday the 17th?
I left that Saturday, and I wrote them a letter. I left that Saturday. I didn't come back. I don't know which the very last day, and I wrote them a letter that's just in your records, telling them I was not coming back because I'm not going to accept that type of behavior from them.
Right, because it's dated November 17th.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going. I won't dispute dates, but go ahead. Yes.
All right, that's fine. Is there anything else you had? I don't have a question for you.
No, sir. I just take my stance that if I work for an employer, I'm not property of the employer, and I'm not a punching bag. And that creates a bad working environment, and it creates an unsafe environment for me as well. And I believe that those are that is one of the terms for reasonable terms for separation from the Ohio Bureau of Unemployment when you have bad working conditions, and that is why I filed for. Thank you, sir, for taking my time to hear what I have to say.
Kazim, do you have any questions for her, or do you want to just testify? I'll just testify, I guess. Okay, all right, sir. Will you state your full name and spell your last name for the record? Abdulaziz Kazim, ABDULAZEEZ, middle initial A, last name Kazim, KAZEEM. And what is your position with the employer? I'm the executive director of the company. The what? Executive director of the company. Okay. Are you all right? Because you're exactly. I am, but I'm gonna be stepping inside right now. Okay. And is the address that we sent the notice sufficient to send a decision in this case? Yes. And could you confirm?
Excuse me, sir. What is that address, please? Because I don't have it.
Well, it should be on your hearing notice.
Okay.
The address that we sent on record. Yeah, It is 4304. I'm sorry, that's yours. His is 16101 Euclid Beach Boulevard, Cleveland, Ohio, 44110. And I'm going to ask you not to interrupt me.
Okay. Okay. You good. You good. You good. Go ahead.
Sir, can you confirm the dates of employment for the claimant for me, first and last, if you have them? Unfortunately, I don't have that right now. I'm actually on the road. But, okay. Yeah, I don't have that information with me. Okay, well, I'll just rely on her testimony in the file. Can you tell me why she's not working there anymore? Reverend Pamela Pinckney, she quit her job. She sent me a message and said, your tablets and your properties are in the vehicle, and that was the last time that she worked, and the last time she was ever on the schedule. Did she ever complain to you about you raising your voice at her? Or? She would say that just after, when I'm on the phone with her, she would say, do not raise. What'd you say, ma'am? What'd you say? She would say that you would be yelling at her? She would do that, and usually when this situation happens, usually she raises her voice on the phone while I'm asking her certain questions whenever we get a complaint. Usually when we get a complaint from third party outside, I would call her and check to make sure everything is okay. Okay. Would you know about this incident with the guard? Yes, I do. What happened there? We got a call from the guard stating that the vehicle was parked and running with no driver inside. And they had to look for our driver, and that she was parked in the emergency, where our ambulance was supposed to park. And that they have to look for her to get her to, move her vehicle. And I told her that she should come in after the run, that she should come into the office, that I needed to speak to her. And the guard did tell me that we're going to try to get the camera and send it over. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do that. And Reverend Pinckney came in, and mind you, prior to this, Reverend Pinckney had parked the vehicle and left it running, and a homeless person took the vehicle, and the police had to get involved to get the vehicle back. And I did tell her after that incident that she should not leave the vehicle running or with the key inside. It doesn't make any sense for you to leave vehicle running and leave the vehicle. So when that go ahead. And when that incident happened, the guy, and the guy did say that she was being verbally abusive to him when, he went to hell. And not only was it phone call, I got to show you, you got to get somewhere where you don't have so much background. I can barely hear you. Okay. It's just about time that I'm saying. Okay. Do you remember that what month or year that was in when you had this stuff about the parking? I don't have those dates. Was it in the summer, fall of 20, or? I think it might have been in the fall. Okay. It wasn't in the summer after that. But, yeah. Reverend Pinckney then came into the office and said that it was untrue what the man said, but I did tell her that the vehicle was running because, I could tell we have what's it called? We have a tracker that shows that the vehicle was running. She didn't deny that the vehicle was running. She didn't deny that. She said she was right next to the vehicle. And I said, well, if you were right next to the vehicle, why were they calling us that they were looking for our driver to move the vehicle? They said they looked in the vehicle and there was nobody in there. And, she's very fond of raising her voice when she's, when she's talking and she feels like, she's always saying, or she feels attacked, she feels like people are after her. A whole lot of things, political things. I don't know what's going on with that. And I always tell her, look, listen, I called you because I got a complaint. It's my job to make sure that everything is going smoothly. All right. Do you know what happened last week before she resigned? Do you know what it was about? If there was an issue or... I remember I told her to pull in and bring the vehicle back to the office. And I never fired her. I didn't tell her that, she wasn't working there anymore. I just got a text message saying, your property is in the vehicle. And I wasn't going to argue with her just because of, all the incidents that have happened in the past. And I'm like, well, if you want to quit, then, that's your choice. I can't tell people to quit in. Do you know, had you talked, did she tell you why she was quitting? Was it because she was yelling at her, or she felt she wasn't trusted, or something like that? She did not tell me. She said, the last text message that I got from her was that your vehicle is in your vehicle is in the yard and your property is in the vehicle. She didn't tell me why she was quitting. I don't have any other questions. For anything else you want to add? Yes. Reverend Pinckney, I don't know where she's getting all this information. All this being abusive to her and talking about being scared that I would hit her. I have been nothing but good to her. And with the situation of her asking for her records, you cannot call your employer and ask for medical records. We are not the hospital. When the incident happened, you never said you were hurt. I asked you multiple times to ensure that you were okay. You said you were okay. You were working for many months after that with no complaints. So I'm not sure what and when you can act. So, I don't have anything else to add to it. And I refuse the claim that we were hostile to her and that, it was an unsafe environment. We have people working at our company for years with no incident like this. So it is very shocking that she's making these claims. That's all I have. Any questions for him, Reverend Pinckney?
Absolutely, I have plenty of questions, and I want to say, Officer.
Stop.
Okay.
This is your chance to ask questions. Just ask your questions. Don't preface them with comments. Ask your question.
Oh, ask the question. Mr. Kazim Abdul, did I ask you to get the video from the incident at the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Center when the officer called and falsely accused me?
Yes, you did. Okay. It wasn't. Okay. Sir. Listen to her question. She asked you to do it, and you said yes. That's all you have to do. Just answer the questions asked. Next question.
Did I scream at you?
On many occasions, yes.
No, I said, did I scream at you?
She wants to know, in this instance, did she raise her voice or scream at you? When you asked me, yes, you did. When you came to the office and we're talking about this, you were stormed out of the office.
You're saying I screamed at you.
Yeah, that's what his answer was.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Do you not?
Argue back and forth.
Okay. Did you?
Go ahead.
Are you saying in this hearing that you do not know why I quit working for the company?
I have no idea why.
Did you receive a letter from me stating why I left the company?
No, I did not. I received a text message.
You did not receive the email from me from the letter from when I told you why I was leaving the company?
No, I did not receive the letter.
Hearing officer, I have a question.
What's that?
When Mr. Kazim had stated before that he did get my letter, and he said that he got it days later. So, am I at this point in this hearing allowed to challenge that? Because he did get the letter, and he told me that he received it, and I want to ask you that because I don't want to be combative.
File right now. If it's in the file,
Okay.
it's part of the record already.
Okay.
I'm looking at a letter that says, "Dear Hope Transportation Company, as you're fully aware, I have quit rendering my services to you and your company due to bad work conditions as of Tuesday, November 17, 2020. That's one letter.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
And so I'm asking Mr. Kazim, is he saying now that he did not receive that letter?
I did not. I did not receive it.
Okay. Because he's told me,
He's answered your question
okay, and I want to. Okay, go ahead. Were you saying that I become paranoid when you speak to me because you believe I feel like I'm being attacked? Is that what you were saying?
Can you repeat that? She's asking if you're accusing her of being paranoid when you would speak to her. Yes, she would always be paranoid. Okay, now how would she express paranoia? Would she say, "Hey, you're attacking me. I think you're attacking me with the way you're addressing me"? No. She would. No. She would always say like, "Oh, people are after her. She's not safe." It's never really anything to do with me or the company. It would usually be about other third parties that I have no idea about, her family, political things that I have no idea about. So it's never about me. So when someone talks,
my last question, because I don't want to take up all your morning. Which we know that's what he's saying is not true. But anyway, my last question is: did I ask you for the records from the accident? Not medical records. Did I ask you for my statements and for my complete file from the accident, April 3rd, 2020?
You did. Well, you never
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's just a yes or no. Okay.
Yeah, that's all she wanted to know. Anything else, man?
No. I'm going to leave it at that because I've stated everything, and I don't want to appear to be hostile or anything. I just want to proceed. Thank you, and I appreciate the hearing.
Anything else from the employer? No, I don't have anything like that. All right, I'm going to take this all as advisement. You're both going to get the decision. Either or both of you disagree, there will be appeal rights and you can exercise those. Thank you all and have a good day.
You as well. Take care now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too. Goodbye.
I like that when he became a doctor. All rights reserved for this video.